How's it going, everybody? I'm Nicholas Jackson. I'm going to be presenting this poem I wrote called Why Do You Believe? I wrote it with the intention of the audience hearing it and then developing questions and understanding and why they do whatever it is they do. Why is your life going the way your life is going? What do you believe? Why do you do these actions? Where is it leading? I pray it's beneficial. If it is not beneficial and you feel like you wasted your time, cry about it. Why do you believe? For whatever this may mean, as a watchman, I observe mass quantities of false confidence without a lead. There's many of distractions appearing harmless, but were created specifically with the intent to deceive. I'm talking people with eyes who are still walking blind, being encouraged that division is the proper decision. How dare you receive another's words as wisdom, with zero thought of your own because you lazily chose to listen? Don't you know, it's us who changes up while these people live by a code? They feed distraction upon distraction, causing millions of nearby individuals to isolate and feel alone. It's quite genius for them, truth be told. In a way, you're not able to pinpoint who's who. Plus, you never seem to find anybody else going through exactly what you do. That's when the brain reaches overload, shutting the you off, and they begin to tell you what you're told. It would appear to me that since an optometrist has not declared you blind, you foolishly assume you could see, while simultaneously, you help further their division between race, gender, and of course generationally. However will the younger further society when we aren't listening? All because we're constantly told you only get ahead by doing it individually, with no context of how in the world that could ever be. Wake up. Some of it is application of devilish wisdom, commonly described as manipulation, where you do the same principle of harm yet you change the face of it, then proceed to present it to another area of our nation. I know you thought you'd be able to see, but not when the powers that be operate by never allowing the right hand to know what the left would choose. That's just one model they use to destroy us internally. Listen, when I was in county, a pimp said a similar thing, then explained to me he would promise hoes the world, but to keep him around, you must create a dependency. He would swear they were on the same team, however, they were always fed separately. Now do you see? He shaped their reality, then gave them just slightly above enough to survive along with a false sense of free, a fiend. That pimp told me verbatim like this, that you snatch a bitch but you always leave her friend. Because you need these hoes out here working, but it's bad for business if they're having these constant reminders of home again. Conditioned to believe they must rely on him. Because they were blinded by drugs and things, yet he's the only source they're allowed to know who is able to provide such dreams. Given a substance to disrupt normal functions, but he knew to provide convenience for him to win. Thought they were the backbone and somehow even free, since they did get to make decisions. Although it can't truly be freedom if the only options given were declared by someone else's interests. Now please consider this, that what was done to those hoes by their pimp is exactly what the government is doing to us and our kids. Think about it. The leaders meet secretly with those they are publicly professing to stand against. Yet we socially avoid our neighbors because they say we're different sorts of men. They provide different options to different classes on how to live. With separate lifestyles and minimal interaction, that's when they tell each people what the others think of them. Otherwise, we would discover commonalities, causing us to fellowship, and from a pimp's perspective, you better not have your targets out here doing the same things. That's as crazy as having been raised by a TV and claiming to love violence, but you've never actually caused someone to bleed. Or is that one just me? Why do you believe? Personally, I was introduced to Jesus in prison. What opened my eyes? It was the Lord's summarization, which led to finally understanding why in the world my sins need to be forgiven. Because it was perceived differently growing up, but now my fun in these things called sins are starting to look just like twins. I had to get sat down by the state, a few individuals, and then a man who gave a damn snatched me into his den, broke me down, loved on me, and then built me back up again, choosing to disrupt his own life by pulling up some obnoxious kid, all for my demeanor being a reminder of the younger him. My purpose changed when the Spirit exposed what Jesus chose, forsaking the old, receiving new orders, and lifting up my chin. Knowing that as a child, my mother almost died as a result of my sin. However, it was for them that Jesus actually did. Once broken, I wholeheartedly put my trust in him. Finally safe enough to confess everything I learned to hide within. Upon adoption came this continual repentance and a lifelong devotion to helping others win. After consistently making truth my priority is when this world began to dim. And it was only then. Why do you believe? Thank you.